Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast, we're lucky to have 11-8 bantamweight that's been, a pioneer and a legend in the sport. And she fights this weekend on Saturday. Raquel "Rocky" Pennington. How's it going today?
Doing well. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Just got on the bike, and I'm a teacher, so I was starting to ride to work and ride back. So I just got back in time and was excited to chat with you. So I appreciate your time. Just speak to what gym you're currently at and how training has been going and who is in your corner for this Saturday.
So I kind of bounce around. I do a private camp a couple days a week. I'm based out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. So a couple days a week, I'll commute to Denver, where I'm out of pound for pound with my coach, Justin Houghton. And then I go down to Pueblo, Colorado to the PBR Sports Performance Center, where I do strength and conditioning with Antoine Burton. And then my wrestling coach is Jason Kutz. My jits coach is Tyler Larson. My boxing coach is Manny Marquez. And so I'm kind of just like all over the place doing private camps and stuff.
Yeah, just you get a little piece of everything, right? And kind of mix it all together to make it, as complete as it can be.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, so in terms of many people I've talked to in the past, in terms of nickname, usually it's given to you, but I did see in your amateur fighting career, you fought for Rocky Mountain. Does it have anything to do with that or no?
No. So my nickname actually didn't even come from fighting. It came from volleyball. My coach, obviously my name is Raquel Pennington, like R-A. And for some reason, she always had an issue calling me Raquel Pennington. And one day at volleyball, I was in trouble. I was not doing what she wanted. And she was trying to yell at me and she kept stuttering rock. So then everybody started calling me Rock. And then from there, it turned into Rocky. And everybody would just always chant Rocky and call me Rocky throughout high school. And it just kind of flowed everywhere. And then when I went into fighting, they were like, we need a ring name. And I was like, my nickname, because I ain't going to listen to nothing else.
Yeah.
So that's where Rocky came from.
And it kind of goes well with your fighting style being a boxer too, right? So yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, I did. So what other sports did you play? I guess when you grew up, you said volleyball. Did you play anything else?
I did everything you can think of. I did basketball, volleyball, softball, baseball, football, ran cross country, did track, gymnastics, soccer. I don't even know.
I should have said, what haven't you done? I should have.
Yeah, exactly. I've done everything.
Yeah. So, Invicta, Tough 18, a lot of people know that. Just wondering on your Tough experience, though. We had one of our better friends in our area here was actually on the same season as you. So that was pretty cool to watch that and watch you and all the other Josh Hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we went to elementary and high school with him. So, yeah, it was cool to watch that season to see, a mixture of guys and girls and like a lot of coming out parties for people. But just how was that overall experience? Obviously, it's led for a successful career for you.
It was an awesome experience. I mean, the way that I like to put it, for one, it was definitely tough. It definitely takes you out of your comfort zone. So everything that you're used to having, the routines you may used to be like doing and everything else. I mean, you're pretty much getting taken out of your comfort zone. You're getting locked into a house with bunch of other athletes who, I mean, they have the same drive, the same mentality, same goals. So that part's cool. But then at the same time, you have to find a different level of discipline because everybody is so different. You don't get books, media, freaking music, anything. So it's like you have no choice but to interact. And let me tell you, people can get on your nerves real quick.
You didn't get to do any of that, eh? No music, none of that, eh?
And so it's just like, it's a totally different experience. But I mean, really, you get to focus on what you're passionate about and what you love to do. So that's a really cool part. It gave me the opportunity as an individual just kind of like spread my wings and really discover who I am. And then as far as being an athlete and like I said, I mean, to interact with a bunch of other people who have that same drive. So overall, I mean, it was a really fun experience for me. Obviously, like everybody feels like tough is the way to go and that that's how you're going to get your UFC contract. And I mean, that wasn't it for me. I mean, I ended up in the semifinals and I had a broken hand and stitches and all this other stuff. And I lost in the semifinals. But then I was one of the first ones back and I've been probably one of the more active ones ever since then.
Yeah, I think so. That's awesome. Yeah, I just watched the recent Tough. That was great to see it back on TV. Yeah, so just a casual fan would look at your record and say 11-8, Raquel Pennington. Like, I've heard the name. Obviously, myself and many other people that know the sport know what you've put into it. And the biggest thing that stands out for me is quality of competition. It's not like you're someone that's 20-2 and they're just padding the record against, people that, so the 11-8 to me, it speaks like 18-3 because of the people that you fought. So just speak to what that means, fighting top competition all the time, never backing away from somebody that's got a high rank or a tough fight. And that, I guess, speak to how that goes back to like your mentality as a fighter and a person.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm in the sport, obviously for the competition. It doesn't matter if you're the champion, if you're number 1 or you're number 50, like you're here and you bring a different challenge to the table. I am the type of person that I don't turn down any challenges. I want to fight whoever it is and challenge myself, challenge my skills, and just have fun. You know what I mean? Like, we have a short window as athletes, so why not take advantage of it? The 11-8 people who pay attention to those things. I mean, I don't even remember my record half of the time, but let me tell you the athletes that I fought. Let me tell you that I'm that tiny percentage who's already fought for a world title. I've made history in so many different ways. Like, I really do have a lot of credentials behind my name. And so, I mean, those are just numbers when it comes to it, but what are you really doing? And that's kind of like, if you get caught up in that the same way you get caught up in rankings and all this other stuff, you can really lose track of things. And I think there's some athletes out there who kind of really focus on that. There's a bunch of people, I think, like you said, I mean, you seeing it as a certain way, though, that's like a fan. That's somebody who really follows the sport, who understands what us as athletes are doing, as opposed to, oh, they got an 11-8, they must suck. But how about the fact that, like I said, fought for a world title, been ranked within top 5 for years, been signed with the UFC for 8 years now. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, those are the numbers that matter. So how long you've been with the UFC and the fights that you're taking on. The thing that I noticed too, like, I try to keep up with, sometimes there's videos posted at the gym. It's like someone's tuning in on a Saturday to watch, whatever, even if it's the prelims and the main card, it's like, maybe I know this person or that record, but do you really know how much they put in? Because and you only see a little tidbit when you see a video put into it, but you really can tell a person's, their strength and their mentality and their focus behind the scenes, not those 15 or less minutes or their 25 or less minutes, right? So I think that's what matters most.
Absolutely. That's where I like to use the iceberg expression, where people just see the top of the iceberg above the water and all that success, but they don't see everything that goes into it.
The layers.
And it's a lot. It is definitely a lot. And I mean, this sport, any sport in general, being an athlete or whatever you're passionate about, I mean, great things take work nonstop. But I mean, this sport is, it's definitely a different grind. And for me, I don't have, my coach and I, we were just talking about this last night. Like, I didn't have somebody the last 14 and a half years that I've been fighting drag me out of bed and wake me up to push me to do this. Like, I've been doing it myself. And before the Ultimate Fighter, I didn't even have a team. I didn't have coaches. I was at the gym running on the treadmill, lifting weights, eating clean on my own, and I would hit a bag. And then I drove 13 hours out to Las Vegas and went through 13 hours of tryouts. Like, it's a drive that comes from within me. And it's something completely different,
Not a job, it's a lifestyle, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So speaking of Saturday, so I know we talked about ranked opponents and whether that matters or not, but you're facing number 12, Penny Kianzad. She, is on a good win streak here. What do you think about her? How do you think you stack up?
I think, obviously, like I said, I mean, it's not going to be tough. I mean, it's not going to be easy. She's definitely going to be tough. But, at the end of the day, like, the way that I see this fight is be careful what you ask for. I am definitely, like, her biggest challenge to date. And, I mean, I like to grind. So I think the fact, for one, that I've had such a long layoff, I've had nothing but time to kind of reflect on things, to become a healthier version of myself mentally, physically, and emotionally. I feel in one of the best places I've been in years. So I think that in general makes it dangerous for her. I think overall, stylistically, the way that we both fight will make for a very exciting fight. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I'm a well-rounded fighter. I've been in the sport for so many years that, like, It's my octagon on Saturday.
Nothing you haven't seen
At all.
Okay, our last section is called Between Rounds. I'm going to rapid fire some questions and you give me your best answer, okay?
Okay.
Favorite meal to eat after a fight?
I am a steak and potatoes girl, but I'm going to go with, I actually like breakfast foods because I really miss having bacon and pancakes.
Nice. What's your favorite spot in America? Could be like to just travel to or just sightsee or whatever.
I love traveling, but my favorite one is in North Florida, Port St. Joe. That's where my brother and my nephews and my family live. So it's just a quiet place, low key, and I get to spend quality time.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't heard of that before. Actually, I'll check that out. What about favorite country to travel to?
I absolutely love Peru.
Yeah, how come?
I just the culture, the people, like the environment, the beauty that's there, the history, it just really stole a part of my heart.
Nice. What about favorite type of music?
I love everything you can think of. Music is something that really speaks to my soul, but I actually like my go-to is country.
Yeah, there we go. Me too. Do you have a favorite artist? Might as well ask you that.
So I actually like 90s country the most. And I can list tons of artists from there, but I would probably have to say, like, in today's day and age, I really like I like Brett Young's music. Yeah,
he's solid.
And I've been on a Jason Aldean kick, so
You can't go wrong with either.
No.
What about favorite TV series?
Favorite TV series? Honestly, I have not been watching TV for like the last 12 weeks. I don't even know what's going on.
That's probably a good thing. Part of where you're
the last one I watched was Outer Banks, so I'll just go with Outer Banks.
Okay. And just a couple of your favorite mixed martial artists of all time.
You know, you would think I have answers to this because I get this question a lot, but I'm just the type of athlete, like, I admire the effort that athletes put in and the work that they put in. Everybody has like their own status and accomplishments and stuff. But I honestly, like, I don't have any favorites. I think if you want to say like just an athlete in general, I'm actually, and it's not even MMA, it's boxing, but I'm a huge fan of Lomachenko. Like,
oh yeah, he's fantastic.
Movement, like athleticism, just love it.
Yeah, that's a great choice. And any sponsors, shout outs, or social media to finish up?
Yeah, so I mean, just overall, shout out obviously to all my fans, my family, my close friends, and just my team in general. And then of course, egg weights, they keep my shoulders nice and sturdy, in shape, give me that extra burn. Fast Fit Foods, who helped dieting this camp super easy. Blue Nutrition, he was my nutritionist, helped me to balance out my thyroid issue and get back to the healthy version of myself. I don't even know. I can't think. Should probably make a list of people, but
that's all right.
Everybody who's out there that supports me, appreciate it.
They know who they are.
Absolutely.
So Saturday, really excited. The Anthony Smith and Ryan Spann card. Very excited to see you get back in there and increase that win streak. And you know, she's going to be careful who she gets in there with, or she's going to pay for it. So
absolutely.
Looking forward to that. Thanks so much for your time, Raquel Pennington. This is Hooks in MMA. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good talking to you.
Next up on the Hooks in MMA podcast, we're lucky to have a UFC fighter, light heavyweight. He's got a big fight coming up on May 1st. Devin Clark, how's it going today?
Oh, not too bad. Another day in camp.
Yeah. So how's camp going for you so far and leading up to this fight?
It's going good. Staying healthy and staying sharp, and definitely a lot better than my last camp. My last camp there's a lot of stress involved with family stuff and whatnot, and opponent changes, and so it's going pretty smooth this camp.
Yeah, and that stuff, you know, it comes up, but the regular fan doesn't hear about that, right? And you know, not that you care at all, but just, you know, some people talk whatever, whose performance didn't live up to what I thought it would be. Well, there's a lot of things that go into it, just other than that 15 minutes. So it happens. But just speak to growing up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and what got you into MMA.
I grew up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Actually, a little small town outside of Sioux Falls, Harrisburg, South Dakota. Grew up on a farm. Um, and I grew up wrestling, playing football, track, baseball. But really, wrestling was my passion, and ended up winning a state title in high school. And then went on to junior college in Rochester, Minnesota, won a national title there. And and then after college, I needed something to do, and I was working construction and didn't want to be done being an athlete. So I started fighting just because it sounded crazy and wanted to give it a try. I didn't really think it'd be a career, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And just wanted to ask you quick, what position do you play in football?
I played played a lot of different positions, but mostly defensive end and tight end and fullback my junior, senior year in high school.
Nice.
So I
And
was kind of undersized, but
yeah, but you probably make up for it with power, strength, and speed and all that stuff, right? So
the wrestling, I actually use my wrestling for football and all my other sports, much like MMA.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, just speak to you said great camp coming up and leading up to this next fight. What camp is that, and who are the coaches in your corner for that fight on May 1st?
I train at Jackson Wink MMA in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'll have the same quarters as, and I think in the last 4 years, my dad, David Clark, he's always in my corner. Then my wrestling coach, Chad Smith. And then, of course, legendary Mike Winklejohn here at Jackson Wink MMA. So
you can't go wrong with that.
No, it's a solid corner, and they bring the best out of each other too, and the best out of me. My dad, my dad brings a lot of intensity, and then Chad will too, and then Mike Winklejohn with the more technical stuff. So it works out good. We have a really good team.
Yeah, so thus far in the UFC, after the Ultimate Fighter, I believe you're 5-4. But just looking over that, because you can just, as a fan and somebody that follows the sport a lot, you can compare, people's resumes to other fighters. You fought the current champ, Jan Blachowicz. You fought Alexander Rakic. You fought Anthony Smith in your last one. These are obviously top 5, top 10 guys at the most. Where the other guys fighting, they get 6-7 fights in a row, and they're not fighting any ranked guys. So forget the record. Just speak to the experience you've gained in there and how that's going to propel you on May 1st and moving forward.
I've definitely been in there with some of the best and the best in the division. Like you said, Jan Blachowicz, he's the champion now. Rakic's number 2, Anthony's number 6, and then I also lost to Span. He's number 11. And I believe I can be right up there with those guys. And taking a loss, and the people that follow the sport closely and know the sport well, they know that you do learn from those losses. And I do take a little bit away from each fight, especially the guys that are that high caliber. I came into the UFC, I was 6-0. I got signed on Dana White's looking for a fight. I was 6-0, and I was a little underskilled to get signed already. So I've been learning at the highest level last almost 5 years now, I think. So yeah, I'm definitely, those losses do count, and I have learned a lot from them, and my skill is starting to develop and starting to advance, and I feel a lot more confident, especially after the last fight, even though it didn't last very long. But I learned a lot about myself in that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So May 1st, Ion Kutaleva, he obviously had that rematch against Kailev, who's a dangerous opponent. How do you see yourself matching up with him?
It's a good matchup. He's a strong guy. He's quick. He's got speed. He's got power. He's got all that. He's a tough fight, tough dude, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to use a lot of those same skills against him, and really beat the crap out of them. But and he's one of those guys that you kind of want to beat up for whatever reason. And I'm like one of the nicest MMA fighters that you'll meet. I've never even been in a street fight, so it's really hard for me to get kind of ugly leading up to a fight. But he's just one of those guys. I don't know why. He's probably a pretty nice guy, but it's like it's really easy for me to talk crap to him.
Just comes
yeah.
naturally.
Yeah, and then I don't know, it's something about him or his face or just like the way he carries himself, or maybe it's because he paints himself green at weigh-ins. It's just like it's easy for me to be a little mean to him. And I think he understands that too. So
sometimes you just look at someone and you don't have a preconception of it, but you hate them already.
Yeah,
yeah. We'll see how that plays out. But I'm liking you. I'm liking you in favor for that matchup. So
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Just to finish up here, just curious, do you have any family, any extra hobbies outside of training and fighting?
Yeah, I have a wife, Megan, and my daughter, Eden. And I like hunting, fishing, kind of a country kid, I suppose. Listen to country music and country rap music, actually. Then driving my truck around. I got a 4x4 and love driving my truck around. I drive it down here I drive it from South Dakota to Albuquerque, New Mexico, because Albuquerque's surrounded by mountains. So on the weekends, I'll go shooting or go off-roading and just kind of get lost in the wilderness somewhere. Like this weekend, we were in the New Mexico Badlands, which was a really cool experience. So yeah, it's just being outside and just doing country stuff, I guess, or outdoors.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't know about that about you. So just quickly, what's the thing you like to hunt for most, fish for most, and your favorite country music singer or country rap?
So I do a lot of pheasant hunting and rabbit hunting. Rabbit hunting is probably my favorite. I think mostly because a lot of people don't do it, or they're just like, well, why would you eat a rabbit? But it's actually pretty good when you eat little rabbit stew.
Rabbit stew.
Rabbit stew is always good. And they're not that hard to hunt, but it is fun, and I do eat them. So, but some of my favorite country rap artists or country artists, they do it all. But Ryan Upchurch and Struggle Jennings, Adam Calhoun, Jelly Roll, those are some of my favorites that are in my everyday playlist.
Awesome. I'll have to re-listen to this because I'm a country music fan. I haven't heard of those guys,
Okay.
So I'll listen to that. I also hunt myself.
Nice.
Mostly duck and geese, but deer as well. And then I fish too, and I'm looking forward to 2 weeks from now. We have like the trout run, so looking forward to that.
Oh,
so.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So to finish up, we have a segment called Between Rounds. I'll ask you a question. You give me your best answer, okay?
I'll try.
Favorite kind of food to eat outside of camp?
Cheeseburgers.
Favorite sport other than MMA?
Football, I guess.
What's your favorite spot in South Dakota? If someone's never been there, you tell them go check it out.
Lake Alvin.
Lake Alvin.
Yep.
What about favorite country in the world? Can't pick the states.
Russia.
Yeah, how come?
Well, it's one of the few places I've been, I guess, but I really love the culture and the people, and I have some Russian friends, and it's just it suits me, I guess. And also, they have really good hunting there, and it's a dream of mine to go hunting there one day.
All right, I hope that comes to fruition. Favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, probably the Bad Boys 2.
Yeah,
Bad Boys 3.
Yeah, those are good ones. And what was the last one I was going to ask you? Oh, yeah. Who inspired you? Just kind of, a mixed martial artist, somebody maybe they still fight, that you look up to, at least respect what they've done in the sport, or they could be retired, that kind of motivated you.
I didn't really have motivation before I started fighting, but once I started fighting, I would say John Jones, one of my teammates and friends here at Jackson Wink.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're redoing the basement down here, and I have a GSP and a John Jones poster behind me. Usually you'd see that if I was interviewing. So I totally respect that. And he's one of my favorites, and so is GSP. So tell John, we're looking forward to seeing him back in there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So any sponsors, shout outs, or social media to finish up?
I just want to thank everybody that's tuning in and looking forward to fighting May 1st and putting on a show. Thank you, everybody.
And thank you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate that. I'm glad we got to make it work, and good luck on May 1st. Devin Clark, this is Hooks in MMA. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. You take care.
You as well.
Next up on the Hooks In MMA podcast, we're really lucky to have on 7-3 lightweight fighter with a big fight coming up this week. Really looking forward to seeing him back in the cage. Michael the Machine Dufort. How's it going, man?
What's up, man? I'm doing fine, man. Easiest weight cut of my life, so man, I'm just happy.
And that's got to be, extremely exciting for you as a fighter, because sometimes it's like the least thing that a fighter wants to get through, right? Like it's got to be extremely tough. I've never done it myself, but
yeah. Earlier in my career, that was the worst moment, but right now, man, I almost enjoy it. But man, the fight is so fun. So it's a little bad thing, but for the best thing to happen after that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So for yourself, just speak to where you grew up and then what age you got into MMA and kind of why, I guess. Were you inspired by somebody or?
Man, I started MMA at 13 years old. Just started and never quit. Turned pro at 18. And now I'm 27 and I'm in my prime. I've never been that in shape. I have the best entourage. My coaches, my friend, my family, everything, everybody is so good. Man, I'm just ready to perform. Like it's been 2 years while the pandemic, we got to work different, but man, I'm a positive person, so I use the pandemic to work differently, more drill, and I think I'm a better fighter today. Because of that pandemic, I correct some bad habit with my coach, and man, I'm just so dangerous right now, so much more dangerous than I was.
Yeah, and we can't wait to see it in a couple of days here, and we'll talk about that in a second. But you mentioned it always sticks out to me, good supporting family and friends. I think in life, a support system is a number one thing. You got people to lean on when days are tough. You got people to pick you up, and always in your corner. Not officially in your corner like they will be on Thursday, but they are in your corner, right? So it's very important.
Yeah, Thursday I plan to be in the cage with 1,000 of Quebecers that are going to be behind me, and we're going to hit hard, man.
Yeah, and so just wanted to bring up quick, I've seen, I think 3 of your fights in TKO. The one that stood out to me other than the wins was actually the loss, because the loss was against, current UFC fighter, Jesse Ronson, been around a long time. Obviously he's on the shelf right now, but I thought that that performance was fantastic. And obviously from there you built up, another win rate after that as well. Right. So just speak to, fighting him and then the TKO promotion to get your name out there and kind of help build you up to the person you are today.
Yeah, the fight with Jesse was probably the one that gave me the experience and we did 5 rounds, championship fight, back and forth. I used to go on the ground, but he was so good with his wrestling. I gotta fight with him with my face, and my man was a good fight. I learned a lot in that fight, and I'm a different fighter right now than I was at that time.
Yeah, of course. And I only ask you about that because it's sometimes that loss or that poor performance or something that just kind of, I don't know, wakes you up and then you're ready to go on a run here, right? So
you're right.
You did get a nice win after, and then you're booked for, actually it's CFFC 100, which is kind of cool. That's on Thursday, and that's against Troy Gerhardt. So just wondering, what you know about him and how you feel like you match up against him with all the tools you've added within the last couple of years.
Actually, it was so hard to know this guy because he hasn't fought in two years. He fought in 2019. He fought in 17, and before that it was in 2014. So he fought in Bellator, like WSOF. He fought in big league, but we couldn't find video or anything about him. It's funny that the way we knew he was lefty, actually we didn't know he was lefty until his coach trash talked me on one of my posts, and then one of my friends like start stalking the guy, and he saw some video of Troy, and we saw like this, he was lefty, like
Southpaw.
yeah. 2 weeks before the fight, we learned that, but that's perfect because I trained with Olivier Aubin-Mercier, and he's one of the best southpaw in the world. So I've been with him for his 2 last PFL fights. So I'm happy to fight a lefty, actually.
I'm happy that you brought that up, because like in conversations with a lot of different fighters, like sometimes it's, you know, the straight and narrow, and this is what is happening, and this is what I'm doing. I like that story because you just found out a couple weeks ago, and throughout a camp, you're probably assuming he's just orthodox, right? Your friend found out that he's not, but you just told me that your guy you train with is a southpaw, so you've already worked against that. So it's like something that you don't even need to process in your mind, right? Because you've gone through it so many times. You don't have to think, how am I going to exchange with him now on the feet if he's, or even stopping takedowns as a southpaw now. So I don't think that phases you at all, and it doesn't seem like it. So I like the mindset is where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have trained with that much with Olivier lately, because it could have affected me if man, it could have been hard to know at the last minute if I wasn't that ready, but I'm that ready, so that's why we're like, oh shit, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Even if you're training against somebody that's orthodox, sometimes you can lose, right? It is what it is. You could get caught with something, but I just like the fact that you had trained with somebody, and you know what's kind of coming from different angles. So that's good to hear. Yeah, so I just wanted to ask quickly, I also saw that you were booked for another fight in October. Is that true, or is that not true?
Yeah, I'm supposed to fight in October in Quebec, but I think it's pushed back in November. But the fact is, I plan on winning that fight with a masterpiece, and I want to sign with a big organization after that. I'm at that way. I'm there in my career. Like, I know I can beat the big guy. I can beat any 55 in the world. I know I'm that good, actually.
Yeah, and I've seen some of those performances and flashes of it. So, like you said, with developing the last 2 years, that could be huge to showcase for those big promotions. You don't want to look past Thursday, but if things go like you think they should, and they probably will, in my opinion, yeah, there's no reason why you couldn't get like a Dana White Contender Series call up for 155 in October, or even, right? So maybe somebody drops out. So that's in the forefront of your future. I see that happening, and I just hope Thursday goes as we all think. So we usually finish off with a between rounds segment. So I'll rapid fire a few questions for you. Just give me your best answer. 1 minute.
All right.
Favorite sport growing up, and it can't be MMA.
Hockey. Man, I played hockey all my life. I'm a hockey fan. I come from Montreal, Quebec. So
you're not. Please don't tell me you're not a Habs fan. Are you a Habs fan?
I'm a Habs fan, man.
So am I.
Go Habs, go!
I'll send you a couple pictures after when we're done talking.
All right, that's good.
Love that. Favorite place you've traveled to in Canada?
Man, I haven't traveled much, so I'll say Quebec, man. Quebec is so big, it's huge. Couple of mountain, man. I love Quebec.
What's your favorite hobby to do outside of training and fighting?
Man, I think it's hiking. I'm a hike guy. I like to go in the mountain, man. Go on the top and take picture with that. That's beautiful. Everything's beautiful on the top of a mountain.
Absolutely. What's your favorite kind of music?
I'll go with probably everything Eminem do.
Yeah, I like that. Do you have a favorite like TV series or movie of all time?
Man, Star Wars 3. man.
Nice.
That scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan, awesome.
Unbelievable.
And Obi-Wan, man, I'm a fan.
3 of your favorite fighters of all time.
Oh shit, good one. I'll say George St. Pierre, Rafael dos Anjos, and probably Max Holloway.
Solid choices. And just to finish up, how do you think Thursday ends up for you?
Masterpiece. Hope he'll be able to take the first minute, and I'll be able to show my skills, but I'll finish him in the first 3 minutes. Hurt him on the foot and take him to the ground, finish him pretty fast.
Sounds good. Any sponsor shout outs or social media to me?
Well, everybody in Quebec, man. I come back to Quebec, but the people behind me are most of them Québécois. So merci à tout le monde au Québec. Fucking nice to have you behind me.
Yeah, and we talked about support systems. So where you come from matters too, right? So and we come from Canada. So on Thursday night, I don't know exactly what time, but Michael the Machine Dufort
around 9.
Yeah, so that's when you're gonna fight?
Probably. It's supposed to be. I'm the third fight of the main card, and the main card start at 8. So
okay,
I wouldn't be surprised it's around 9. So get ready.
My point was after that 9:30, Michael the Machine Dufort's going to be 8-3, and he's going to get a big call coming up soon. So we really appreciate really appreciate you coming on here and spending a few minutes with us. Good luck Thursday. We know what's going to happen, but can't wait to witness it. You take care, bro. Good luck.
Thanks, man. Bye bye.